Burke kicks to Burks. It's good. The assist that time from Burke. Burks has got the lead up to 2 now for the Jazz. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Jazz.
Well, in the first half of play, they're closing out aggressively, blocking shots, a key indicator of their activity on the defensive side.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for the Jazz. Jazz have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. About 3 minutes played so far in this second quarter. Now here's Burke, guarded by Holiday. Jumper off the screen, and Ashik sends it back. Wow! For New Orleans, they've gone 0 of 4 in the second quarter. Obviously, that needs to change. Here's Gordon. Misses off the left iron. Utah leading. Hayward outside. Rebound by Pondexter.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
And Anderson has it in the corner. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Anderson's got 5 points so far. Clark, you talked about a back-and-forth game. This is the definition of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, not even through the first half, and it's been one heck of a battle.
You have to love these kinds of games, scoring-wise, keeping everybody on their toes.
Now here's Favors after Gordon Hayward's miss, and so the ball's out of bounds. Favors touched it last.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Gordon Hayward. Here's Gordon. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Clippers in Los Angeles. And Anderson kicks to Gordon. Back to Anderson. Screen by Ashik. Pondexter dishes to Ashik. Shot by Gordon, wide open. And the 3 off target. Utah trailing here. And here's Burke. Gobert, the screen. Pass to Favors. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And that is good. Favors has got 6 points.
And every time you think one team's got something going, the other seems to respond.
Seesawing back and forth in the balance this game has been. Neither team giving an inch.
Now here's Anderson. 5 points in the game. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, last season, Quincy Pondexter was moved to the Pelicans. He really took off after the trade and played some of his best basketball to date.
Pondexter last year was very valuable after the trade. Career highs, Clark, in points and minutes played for him with the Pels.
Yeah, and you know, he showed he can really be a 3 and D guy. Shot over 40% from deep with the Pelicans and defended pretty much every position on the perimeter.
Perkins, he's checked in for the Pelicans. Evans comes in for Eric Gordon. Good on both.
And we all know Utah is a very young team. Last year, only the 76ers were younger. Still very competitive given the age and the lack of experience from this group.
Now here's Gobert. His last outing with 20 points. The dish to Ingles. Jazz passing it around. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Clark, an interesting fact about the Jazz and their age last year. At one point, they didn't even have the oldest starting 5 in the state of Utah. Now think of this. The starting 5 of BYU, Greg and I were just talking about this, had an older average than Utah did.
Yeah, amazing. You look at the ages of Exum and Gobert and Favors. Makes sense that would be the case.
Last year, the Pelicans, Greg, pushed their way into the postseason. It was a neck-and-neck battle for that number 8 spot, as you recall, with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And how about the excitement down the stretch? They were able to edge out the Thunder and Russell Westbrook on that just point binge down the stretch there. And what a final day that was. A big, huge win over the Spurs let them get into the postseason for the first time under the Pelican moniker. Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Utah calls timeout. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
The Jazz making a switch here. Withy's checked in. Here's Hood. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game, and that one's good.
And as you said, I mean, New Orleans made the playoffs for the first time under the name Pelicans. Unfortunately for them, they ran into the Warriors in the first round and were promptly swept away.
Now here's Evans. 8 points for him. And that one is good from Ajinça. Ajinça's got 6 points. And for the Jazz, they're shooting 36% in the second quarter. They really haven't found their rhythm yet offensively here.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
So it's the Pelicans now, following the bucket by the Jazz. Clock at 6. Here's Cole. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Another shot, and foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. And here is the 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's top rebounding teams this season. The Jazz second.
You know, it's not necessarily a glamour stat, but make no mistake, their top-notch board work has been a huge key to their success.
Free throw good, Ajinça.
And thinking back to the Pelicans' playoffs from last year, let a 20-point lead slip away in that fourth quarter of Game 3. But they played better than a sweep and got valuable postseason experience for that young roster.
And Utah has possession. Trailing by 2.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Cole, the pass to Evans. And he says, right back at you with a big dunk of his own.
I mean, if the defender is going to play off like that, and you know what's going to happen, there are going to be points put on the board.
And Booker kicks to Ingles. Hood dishes to Booker. To the paint. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Yeah, heard the whistle and then kept his focus and able to still knock it down.
And, Greg, to be able to take the bump like that and maintain control, that's not easy to do. I know you're kind of a little fella, but I was a big guy when I played, so I know how difficult that is. That was impressive.
I see.
Ish Smith, he's checked in for the Pelicans. The Jazz have gone 4 of 6 so far from the line, missing a couple.
And collectively, they're only about 73% as a unit right now.
And, you know, you don't have to tell them what their free throw numbers are. I mean, they're well aware of it, believe me.
Now, here is Smith. There's the pick. Inside. And the jam by Ajinça. Well, guys, this first half has been about as tightly contested as you could hope for.
Well, neck and neck. How about that? I mean, ferociously competitive. I mean, tight as me in an airplane bathroom.
That's not the visual I was looking for right now, but there have been a lot of lead changes. My goodness.
And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Pelicans?
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
Also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half. They'll be happy with all those assists.
Both free throws good from Hood. Utah had a great home court advantage last year here. This crowd knows how to get into an opponent's head.
Kevin, that they do. It's a big part of why the Jazz were able to eke out over 500 last season at home. Ended up 21-20 by winning 4 of their last 5 home games.
The Jazz have gone 7 of 14 in the second quarter, shooting to the tune of 50%. Nato, covered by Smith. To the inside. It's stolen by Ajinça. And here comes Smith, leading the fast break. Feeds it to Ajinça. Evans kicks to Cole. 6 on the shot clock. From outside, off the mark.
And you know, with Utah's play at home, they played in a very jazzy way. Oh, no pun intended. And by that I mean grinding it out. They were really strong on the glass as they were second in the league in rebounding differential at home.
Smith outside. He kicks to Ajinça. There's the screen. Evans passes to Ajinça. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here.
And Utah being so good at home is one reason why they've been so competitive for the majority of their seasons. After last year, they became the only team not to lose 60 games in a season.
Lyles checked in for Utah. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
The Jazz making a switch here. .105 left here in the second. Some firepower, Clark, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively.
Now here's Burke. Lyles no good. Now here's Evans. He's guarded closely. A baseline J. Here's Ajinça. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Take a look at what Ajinça's done. He's got 10 points, and 4 of his points have come at the foul line. He's made the most of those opportunities.
And you can't undervalue the importance of that. Many times a game comes down to which team wins the free throw battle.
For New Orleans, they have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances.
And it's been an average year, really, at the free throw line for this group, only around 75%.
This is the way to stay in the game. They're doing a masterful job from the line right here. Boy, I tell you what, he does not look like your typical big man up there at the line. He has an excellent stroke and a percentage to match.
Here's Lyles. There's the pick. To the paint. Here's Withy. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And he better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
Ajinça, and he slams it one-handed.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Jazz lead by 1. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exhilarating first half, to be sure. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be breaking down all the action for you. Utah found themselves in a close game in the first. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And Kenny, what'd you see out there from the Jazz?
Well, they're generating points in the paint, which I like to see. Too often teams fall in love with the three and the defenses can key on that. You want to keep your offense unpredictable, which is why you need to establish a presence inside. Once you do that, then you can play inside out, and you've got the defense right where you want it.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Pelicans.
Well, they had a strong